if I had my way, it would be Michael, Carter, Bobby, Cags, Vinny, Salvi would be my 6. And then 7, 8, some combination of Lane Thomas, Charlie Marte, Isaac Collins, Jonathan India, Michael Massey, however, and then Isbell hitting 9th. One Royal Way, back at it here on Kansas City Sports Network. I'm Joel Penfield. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. There are weekly episode here, not live show related. I appreciate those of you that are still hanging around. I know the team is not doing well, but we still got content coming for you. Win-loss, no matter what. So we'll talk a little bit about Salvador Perez and some of the offensive stuff. Do want to get into that. And along with that, the guy that I think needs to move up in the order, and some of this, was hit on the post-game show that came up that we did on Wednesday afternoon with Nick Springer. So if you haven't listened to that, we talk about some of this stuff as well. I'm just going to dive in a little bit more on it. And then the bullpen is what it is. Like we know that it's a little bit of a roulette roll right now for just about anybody that they bring out, even the guys that we trust in theory. But a guy that's had a pretty good start to a year in AAA that I do wonder about. Before we get to all that, be sure to like, rate, subscribe, review on all platforms. Hit those notification bells, when these shows go up, both the shows that are not live, and you'll get notifications when the live show does kick off and begin for the post-game show. So be sure to have those on. It'll help all of that. On the audio side, if you leave 5-star review, that'd really be appreciated. It does help the channel grow, helps more people see this content as we go through the season. And this show, as always, brought to you by Emprise Bank, member FDIC, our partners in Possible here at Kansas City Sports Network. So one of the things that has been a problem, obviously the offense as a whole, but one of the reasons why the offense has struggled so much is the middle of the order has done nothing. Right, not much of consequence to begin this season, and that's not Bobby. Bobby's still being productive, even if it's maybe not the production we expected. Like it's a lot of singles, not a lot of pulling the ball in the air, that sort of stuff. We've talked about that before. Vinny has really, really rough start. It looks like he's starting to get going a little bit. Home run today, as I'm recording on Wednesday night. So, and a double. So he had a couple of really good plate appearances off Chris Bassett after an over 16. So he's getting going, and maybe this is kind of the spark to get him rolling with 4 homers in the last week or 3 homers in the last week. But still seeing continued issues with Salvador Perez. And he had an opportunity today with runners in scoring position, 1 out in the 5th inning, as the Royals had a 3-2 lead, and he grounds into a double play, and that ends the inning, and that was it. It was, and the game completely unraveled after that in the 6th inning between Waka and Morgan. They gave 6 runs, and you end up losing the game 8-6. And it's not like the reason why the Royals lost that game, Salvador Perez grounding in the double play, but it was just that compounded as the runners, the scoring position stuff still is an issue for on the whole, combined with the pitching staff giving it up. It was a team loss, but you can kind of take one event right into the other and put it all together and go, well, that event then led to the next. And this has been a problem for Salvador Perez all season long. And he's had so many seasons where that's been something he's done really well. In 24, he had 100 RBI season there. He had 100 RBIs last year even. When he got off to an incredibly slow start, still ended going 30 and 100 this year so far. I mean, right now it's a $180, 221, 315 to 41 way runs created plus, and it continues to have him sitting in the middle of the order. And the men in scoring position stuff, I mean, 111, 194, 222. The one hit was the home run in Detroit. For those that may score at home, I use weighted runs created plus a lot on this show. as a way to look at total offensive production that you can take adjusted to park and era and league to put everyone on a level playing field. So you're not talking about guys in Coors versus guys in Kaufman and whatever else. 100 is the league average. And most of you guys know, for anyone that may not know, 100 is league average. Anything above that is that percentage better or worse, right? If it's a 112, 12% better than league average, and 85, 15% loss. Yeah. Salvador Perez's weighted runs created plus with men in scoring position this year, not including today, is 3. 97% worse than league average. And he's still hitting 4. Right now, it is an untenable spot for Salvador Perez to be hitting cleanup for this team. Doesn't mean that they can't shift it around, and if he gets going and is in one of his home run heaters, then maybe he can again. But right now, it's a massive reason why the Royals are struggling and why the Royals are in the position that they are. It is not all his fault. There is plenty of blame to go around on the offensive side, but it is one of the reasons. And he started off like this last year. It was he really struggled out of the gate and then got going and, was solid for the back half of the year. But that was also when you coupled it with the expected numbers. He was one of the more unlucky hitters in the league. Like, he hit 236. The expected batting average was almost 270. He slugged 446. The expected was 534. The weighted on base average expected weighted on base average was 357, and he was barreling the ball a lot. Even if he was still doing all of his chase stuff and not walking and all that stuff. Like, there was a lot of the batted ball data that backed up. Yeah, he's struggling, but he's still hitting the ball really well, and it's going to come back in the other direction. And for the most part, it did. But this year, not the case at all. I mean, he's hitting a buck. He's hitting a $180, and the expected batting average is 226. He's slugging, what was it, 3 something? Or what was the number that I read earlier? I closed the tab. Regardless, it's around 200. Like high 200s or low 300s, and the expected slug it's just 383. Like, it's a below league average. The barrel rates come way down. He's not hitting the ball as hard, and he's still chasing at the same rate. I mean, it's what he's done his whole career. 40+% chase rate. It's 44% this year. The bat speed is even going down a little bit, if I recall. If I looked at this correctly, the bat speed's down almost a full mile an hour from last year. And we with that data, that shows like it's catching up to him a little bit. The max exit velocity has been anywhere from 110 to 114 for his entire career. Thus far, 108.5. It's not hitting the ball as hard. The average exit velocity hasn't been below 90 since 2017, and now it's down to 88.5. The expected, I said the expected batting average 226. Like, what it makes Salvador Perez great is maximizing, pulling the ball in the air and hitting home runs, right, to make up for some of the swing and miss and strikeouts and some of that stuff. And he's always had a very good air pull rate, right? Pulling, just maximizing power potential that way. Last year, 26.6%, 26.8% in 2024. Those are well above league average, into the 80th percentile or greater. It's 15.7%. He's not getting around to the ball anymore. Like, it's a lot of flaring the ball the other way. The ground ball rate is up over the last few years. The pop-ups are way up. He hasn't had a pop-up rate in the double digits since 2017, and it's way up from last year, 9.1 to now 14.3%. Quality of contact is just not there anymore. The weak contact is up a full percent. That's 4.3%, but 2 years ago, 2.6, 3.4 last year. It's just it's a guy that's 36, that's played a lot of baseball. And unfortunately, it's just catching up with him. I don't think this means he's done. right? It's a possibility. When you see the way that the numbers have just dropped off off a cliff in a lot of key areas, especially batting the ball, hitting the ball, it is concerning. And if this is the type of player that he is right now and is going to be, that he can't be hitting fourth. Even for a team that right now is put themselves so far behind the eight ball and get out of it, that it may not matter, and you may be able to give him a swan song and let him clean up the rest of the year, and it may not matter. But if you really are trying to win games, Salvador Perez cannot be the cleanup hitter for this team, at least right now. And do I think it's going to change? Shoot, last year I thought he was done. And he clearly has found a way to keep Father Time at an arm's length. But it comes for everybody. It comes for everybody in any walk of life, in any sport, I guess, unless you're Tom Brady or LeBron James. As you get older, you get worse. And eventually it becomes your time. Hopefully it's not the end for Salvi. But right now, the early indication is he's struggling. And no shit, Joel, obviously. We'll see if he comes out of it. But if this team wants to go anywhere, I don't think he can hit. I don't think he can hit 4. I mean, I don't even know if he can hit 5 right now for this team with the lack of offense coupled with his lack of production. It's a really tough spot for this team. On the other side of this break, we'll go ahead and talk about the guy that I think needs to move up in the order to take some of these plate appearances for Salvador Perez, and maybe another guy that I think should get some opportunity there as well. We'll do that right on the other side of this break.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story, like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner in possible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
David Starnes Allstate Insurance is a proud partner of KC Sports Network, serving the Kansas City area and all throughout the Midwest. If you are looking for new coverage or something that better suits your home, auto, health, or any of your other insurance needs, give Dave and his team a call. Elevate your coverage and be worry-free with David Starnes Allstate Insurance.
You know that moment, the one when you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the roof of your car or at a gas station 3 states away. Well, I've been there too. But then I found Shady Rays and it changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life. Seriously good-looking, polarized, durable sunglasses. Made for real life. And they're not stupidly expensive. They're polarized, durable. And here's the wild part. If you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, just replacements. So now I actually wear my sunglasses without fear on hikes, at concerts, on the boat, wherever. They have sunglasses for golfing, fishing, hiking, and biking, even sunglasses for kids. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. Go to shadyrays.com and use code KCSN for 40% off 2 pairs of polarized sunglasses. I think over the last few days, we've seen Carter Jensen really start to get going here. Really since he had the oversleeping moment, but there was even a little while last week, if I recall, where the batting average was starting to get down below 210. He was kind of searching. It happens to every rookie, right? Not something that, is incredibly shocking. Look for the game logs now. Yeah, his batting average got down to 204 last Wednesday against Detroit. Oh, now the OPS really hasn't gone anywhere since he started hitting homers, which has been good to see. But slowly just climbed over the last few games. He's got now 4 multi-hit games in the less than the last week or so, and it's seen the OPS rise above 900, especially with the power. So starting to see him get going right as of right now after the game today. Slash is 275, 354, 565 with a 152 weighted runs created plus. And he's already almost matched his season total in WAR last year from just the 20 game sample he had last year in about 3 more games. So he's damn near in line with the player that he was last year from like slash line, offensive production perspective. He's walking a little less and he's striking out more. The strikeouts are way up from where they were, but he's also getting that down. It was above 31% for quite a while, and that's starting to come down as he's seeing more pitches, as he's in the lineup almost every day now. Righty, lefty, he has proven he should not be taken out of the lineup. Done a really good job barreling the ball. Does a good job chasing. The swing and miss is a little concerning. It's 36.5% right now, swing and miss rate, which some of that is, listen, he's got a good plan, he's got a good approach, and he takes some chances, takes some shots to try and make something happen, hit a ball over the fence in an advantageous count. Sometimes that leads to, over swinging a little bit. Sometimes velocity can give him some problems. But for the most part, he's really held his own. He's getting better. The defense kind of hit and miss. The framing is great. The blocking is not. But that's something you can grow and figure out. He's hitting 284 against fastballs right now, which is good to see. The breaking stuff is hurting him, but for any player, that was the expected. He's hitting 333 against Hears. It's even better. Love that. Breaking balls are killing him a little bit, but I imagine he's going to figure that out at some point. He's pulling the ball in the air. He's maximizing his power. 3-run value against fastballs is huge for a team that doesn't have fastballs well. Like, if there's anyone I trust in a 3-1 count to just go get their ace swing off against fastball, it's probably Carter Jensen. All that to say is I threw a bunch of numbers out there at you guys. I've thrown a lot of numbers at you guys today so far. He needs to be hitting in the top third of the order. Bottom line. Hitting him fifth is great. I want to see him get more opportunities with Michael and Bobby on base. Hit him third, hit him fourth. I don't care how they do it. Hit him second, move Bobby down to third, however they decide to do it. He needs to be given more opportunities because he's proved he's a guy that can go bridge very often. And he's had a penchant for being able to drive runners in. Like, he's got that ability. And sure, it's been a little hit and miss at times because even to his own words, like trying to do too much, trying to make something happen with runners in scoring position. Hit the ball, like trying to hit home runs when the home runs are products of a good swing and good process. So he's going to figure it out, and he's going to continue to get better. I think this is a guy that should be hitting in the top third right now. If I had my way, it would be Michael, Carter, Bobby, Cags, Vinny, Salvi would be my 6. And then 7, 8, some combination of Lane Thomas, Charlie Marte, Isaac Collins, Jonathan India, Michael Massey, however, and then Isbell hitting 9th. Like that, and that's how I would have it most days. And to Massey's credit, he's swinging it pretty well right now over the last few games. So if he's doing that in your 7th spot, you're doing pretty well. And I don't care as much about stacking a couple lefties in a row in the lineup with the 3-batter minimum. Like, it doesn't bother me as much. I don't feel the need to go right, left, right, left, right, left, as was more old school when you could match up lefties a little bit more regularly. But right now, this team needs to try anything. And with the way the offense is, like, it had a good series from a getting guys on base perspective. Obviously, Monday was just cataclysmic with runners in scoring position. And then you got some offense, in some funky ways with, I think, 3 sacrifice flies, the home run, and then the wild pitch to score runs. But who cares how it happens? Like, you got the runs home. And then it's a pretty good offense today, showing, a penchant for stringing some hits together. But he goes yard, Izzy goes yard, Vinny goes yard, Carter being the he. It was a good mix that maybe some of these guys are really starting to figure it out and get going way later than we would like, but they're doing it, and that's something that matters, I guess. But I want to see what it looks like to have Carter hit at the top. And also, Michael Garcia left the game with elbow soreness today. Who's going to hit leadoff if it's not Michael? The other guy that would be was Jonathan India, but it was a left shoulder subluxation, so he's on the IL. Your best option might be Carter in the leadoff spot. And he did that a couple of times last year. He had the 3-double game against the Blue Jays. He's a guy that, as I've talked about before, it's instant offense because he can go deep to begin a game. Pitchers trying to get ahead. Hey, just pour a fastball in the zone 1-0. Oh, there it is. It's sailing toward the fountains. He's got that ability. He does show a level of patience to work a walk. It's about a league average walk rate right now. We saw him walk around 13% last year. Maybe some more opportunities to see some more pitches with Bobby hitting behind him. And I think that could change the offense a little bit. Still have Vinny. I still think that they need to get Salvi out of that spot, but if they move Carter up, I don't think they'll move Salvi down. Maybe I still would move Jack up. I would move him into the 4 spot, especially maybe not an everyday now thing, but if this season goes sideways and keeps going sideways, and it's mid-May, I'd hit Jack and Carter in the top 4 to go along with Michael and Bobby and go, hey, you 4 and Vinny, and hit Vinny 5 and go, hey, see if this can be a set it and forget it top of the order for the next couple of years. And see what you got. Like, give them the opportunities to see all of those pitches and get all those plate appearances in those positions. Give Jack as many opportunities to drive in runners as you can. Give Carter as many opportunities to get on base in front of Bobby, pop a couple of homers, where he can. And maybe I don't think it entirely changes the complexion of your season, but it can at least give you hope that like the offense is going to figure it out with these guys in this order. Changing the batting order is not everything. It helped the offense last year, but the offense was still pretty inconsistent, even when they moved Yastrzemski to the leadoff spot and moved India down. Like, it was better, but it was still probably not good enough to be a playoff team. We saw that toward the end of the season as well. One more note on Carter as well. So he's got 6 home runs here in 23 games. The Royals franchise record is 24 home runs. Now, Bob Hamlin. I knew that name. I tweeted it earlier. And I just, the name completely escaped me. But he hit 24, and that was in the shortened season of 1994. I would not be shocked if Carter is able to pass that. If he's able to keep up the home run production. If he's a guy that he might get to 25. He may be a guy that hits 15 or 16, before the All-Star break. Maybe he really goes on a tear and it's a 20-plus homer season, which, even if the batting average isn't quite there and he's like a 250 or 260 hitter, with the home runs, it makes the Rookie of the Year race a little more interesting. McGonigal is certainly going to be in that conversation because he's a pest in the best way possible. I love watching that guy play. I just wish he didn't play for the Tigers. There's going to be a few other guys that are going to put their name in consideration, and Carter is certainly one of them. Okamoto from the Blue Jays. I know he's got the ability to hit a bunch of homers. Murakami's going nuts, hitting homers for the White Sox. That guy, he might be able to hit the ball over the fountains at Kauffman. That guy's power is absolutely bonkers. And he is truly, to go on a tangent, a 3 true outcome hitter. Like, he is the living embodiment of it. Because he's got 9 homers, barrels the crap out of the ball when he does hit it, swings and misses a ton, strikes out a ton, but he also walks 20% of the time. Like, he is just like, I'm going to go up there, I'm going to try and pop a homer, and if not, maybe they'll walk me, and if not, maybe I'm probably going back to the dugout with a strikeout. But the fact that Murakami really didn't hurt him in that White Sox series was kind of amazing because he went nuts the second he left Kansas City. I'm going to try and get to watch the game just on the off chance. Like, I kind of wanted to just watch that guy hit BP. the only time that I went to the White Sox series was the rain delay, the 3-hour rain delay game. And neither team hit BP on the field, so I haven't gotten to watch it, but I imagine it's pretty damn special. To flip it back around to Carter, he's going to put his name in that conversation if he keeps hitting homers like this. Playing a demanding position, and if it is a catalyst for a turnaround, he can put himself in that conversation. Just one of the best rookie seasons in franchise history, and also, put his name up there, for Rookie of the Year. Certainly in the conversation for it. To go back to Jack for a little bit, and I talked about a little bit about this on the post-game show. I have liked some of the improvements. We talked about that last week. Some of the improvements that he has made offensively. He hit the home run, finally got off the schneid there. And he's showing he can hit fastballs, which is massive. Again, we talked about the Royals have been a team that has struggled hitting fastballs for the last few years. And it's bizarre, it's weird, but it is what it is. They've found ways around it. Some of these guys have, at least. The Jack's hitting 343 against fastballs, which is awesome. That expected slug is 522. He's just got to pull the ball in the air now. Like that, you combine those two things, he's going to hit a couple of balls into the fountains, into like the top shelf of the fountains in right center. Problem right now is he's getting just destroyed by breaking balls and off-speed pitches. He's hitting $185 against slide against breaking balls, and off-speed he's hitting 111 with a 222 slug against changeups. I was at the game on Tuesday as a fan, and realized pretty quickly, like I was sitting way down the third base line. But every time you looked up at the scoreboard when Shane Baz was pitching, it was, okay, I'm not throwing him a fastball. Because there were a couple times where he nearly squared it up and like just fouled straight back. They were just flipping him just spinny stuff the whole time. And Jack had no answer. So that's now the correction that he has to make. He needs to be a guy that is able to make the adjustment to the adjustment. Because a lot of times the adjustment or the league made was, we're just going to throw the kitchen sink at you, and we're not going to throw you a strike and get yourself out. Well, he stopped doing that. He started walking more, taking more pitches, seeing pitches in the zone, and has been able to cut the chase rate, and it's led to a little more success for him offensively. But now it's, okay, we can't throw him heaters in the zone. Let's see if he can get himself out with breaking balls. And that's what's happening right now. The chase rate has elevated from where it was about even a week ago. And we'll see how he adjusts. He's a smart ball player. He's self-aware. He finds ways to improve and get better. And he's done that throughout his big league career. I know last season didn't always show it, but when you look at where he was pre-IL stint versus post, he was a much different player. And then coming into this year, he was an even better version of himself from last year. And so now it's just a matter of figuring it out and continue to figure it out at the big league level. Ain't easy. Especially when you tore up the minor leagues and really didn't have a lot of time there, because it wasn't going to be beneficial. But ultimately, I think he'll figure it out. And he had a $163 against fastballs last year, and he's in 343. The slug was 272. It's 486 this year. He's figuring it out. Just a matter of continuing to put it all together, and I believe he will. So it's been pretty well documented that obviously the results on the field show it too, that the bullpen is just an issue. Even the guys that we believe in, and Schramm, Ursig, Daniel Lynch has thrown himself in that conversation. It's kind of spinning a wheel and hoping that you're right with whoever they bring into the bullpen. Alex Lang threw up a 0 today. That was good to see, because he had gotten shelled the last couple of times he went out there. Eli Morgan gave you a 0 in his second inning of work after he came in for Waka. And yes, he gave up the moon bomb to Kobe Mayo, but to keep the game where it was after they were able to chip away a little, that was important. And they don't have too many true relievers to go to out of the bullpen. It's one of those like that are in the minor leagues, because the guys that we think could come in and be relievers are starters in Luinder Avila and Stephen Kolek. I would contend that they should just come up and you let them pitch in the bullpen and figure out the starting stuff later and just get outs, because who is reliable right now in this bullpen? There aren't many that you really believe in. But Eric Sarantola, who's on the 40-man roster, is down in Omaha. He's yet to give up a run in now, got the innings here, in now 10 full innings. He's got 15 strikeouts. Do I have that right? Yeah, 15 strikeouts to 4 walks, no earned runs. And since he is a reliever only. He came in when the Royals drafted him out of Mississippi State. He was a starter. He was drafted in the 5th round in 2021. And when he got drafted, like, it was pretty big time stuff. You liked what you saw in a lot of cases. Didn't pitch a ton in 2022. And then he kind of made the shift to the bullpen in 2023, had 99 strikeouts and 76 in the 3rd. And then in 24, between AA and AAA, had 101 strikeouts and 72 and 2/3. Full year in Omaha last year, 63 strikeouts and 49 innings. The walks have always been a problem for him, but I'll take and right now, I understand that it's a bit contradictory, because one of the biggest problems that this bullpen has is the walks, the free passes, that sort of stuff. I get it. I understand. But I'm fairly okay with bringing Sarantola into this experiment, because they need swing and miss. They need strikeouts. They don't have a ton of that right now. You got to be able to get out and miss bats. Sarantola has a track record of doing that when he's around the zone. Maybe they're able to work it. But I'm not saying you bring him up and bring him into high leverage innings, but give him the 6th, give him the 7th. Maybe he can be part of the bridge to Strom and Ursig, because like it or not, those dudes are going to be throwing the 8th and 9th pretty much every game until Carlos Estevez comes back, goes to rehab assignment, whatever he's doing. I still have not, and I'm looking this up for myself because I hadn't thought about it. But I haven't heard anything about Carlos Estevez in a while. So I want to see if there's anything here. The last update we have is from April 17th, when he threw a 15-pitch bullpen on the 16th. So that was last Thursday. He threw a bullpen. And that's it. Still nothing of a rehab assignment yet. We'll take a look. And I haven't heard any, and I didn't even hear anything about how the bullpen went. So, we'll see. Jonathan India, it's a similar injury to the shoulder he had last year. There's still no potential return date yet. But he's seeing a specialist this week to determine next steps. So hopefully we'll get an update on that here soon. But to get back to my point, as I go on another tangent on my own here, I'd like to see Eric Sarantola in Kansas City here soon. And I may be stepping on Royals Pipeline shoes, but I imagine they're going to talk about him, which there is going to be an episode of Royals Pipeline minor league update from Jared Perkins and Kevin O'Brien coming up on Friday. So be on the lookout for that on Friday morning. Next time you will hear from me will be on Sunday after the finale of Royals Angels from Kauffman Stadium, weather pending. That will be a night episode because the Royals have the Sunday night game on Peacock and NBC with Jason Benetti, national televised standalone game. We would like them to be playing better, but hey, the Royals don't get many opportunities like this, so it is really cool to see them get that kind of spotlight. Eric Hosmer will be the Royals color commentator for that game, because the way that they do that booth, and I talked about this on the postgame show as well, and I think it's pretty unique and kind of cool, even if it's not always, it's, kind of choppy. They don't have a set color commentator for each game to go along with Jason Benetti, who does the play-by-play. It's an analyst from each team that do the booth together. So you're going to have Jason Benetti alongside Eric Hosmer and Mark Gubicza, who pitched for the Royals for a long time and is the Angels color commentator. So there, you're going to have those two there. It will be very cool. I'm excited for the interactions there and how that's all going to work. And I'll be out there. I'll be out there on Saturday as well. So you guys will see social content from me. But with the NFL draft, that deserves its own spotlight on our channels. So be sure to go and follow all of that stuff as well. With that, because Kent, Craig, Maddie, BJ, Josh, Tucker, all of them, they're going to be in some combination live all of Thursday through the draft, all of Friday through the draft, and all Saturday. It's a lot of time. It's time consuming. It's awesome. They do incredible work. So go check them out as well. And hopefully the Royals can come away with a couple of wins here while everyone is distracted by the NFL draft and bring everyone back in with a shred of hope. I hope that that's the case. But it's exciting. If you want to hear thoughts on the downtown stadium with the renderings that came out, I talked about that. Nick and I talked about that on the post-game show, so the audio video are up for that. I don't want to relitigate all of those points because I'd just be repeating myself to the stuff you guys heard on the post-game show. So go over there if you want to hear our thoughts on the renderings, the spot, where things are at. I think it's exciting. It's a brand new chapter of Kansas City Royals baseball. They're staying in Kansas City on the Missouri side. They're going downtown. I think it's great. But once they break ground, I think it'll feel a little more real, and that'll be coming up in the next year or so. That's going to do it for me today. Appreciate everybody listening, hanging out. Like, rate, subscribe, review. Hit those notification bells. I appreciate everyone hanging with me through this first part of the season. Hopefully, we start to see some more wins and things get a little better, starting with this series against the Angels on Friday. Take care, everybody.